Coming to you pre-recorded in multiple locations. If the last straw that broke the camel's back was plastic, that would be hella rad. We're your hosts, Andrew and Nathan. Nathan, how you doing? What you drinking, boy?
I'm doing muy fantastico. And I'm drinking a Liberty Ale from Anchor Brewing. It's pretty nice.
Oh, San Francisco.
How about yourself, young man?
Oh, young man.
Younger than me, so.
Yeah, it's true, by a little bit. I'm doing pretty good today. I am drinking Swami's IPA. It is made by Pizza Port Brewing. It is not a port, but they do make pizza.
Okay.
They got multiple locations around San Diego County. It's pretty good. I have one of their favorite beers that I have a t-shirt for. It's called Kung Fu Elvis. It's exactly what it sounds like. Just Elvis in a karate outfit, busting moves on a t-shirt. Anyways, today's show, we're going to be introducing two new segments known as Four-Wheel Frustrations and Hella Fancy. You can also expect a new conspiracy theory. And last but not least, we'll be giving you that Faberge egg update you so desperately deserve. But before we get into it, we had some non-sponsors we'd like to not thank. Nathan?
Yeah, mine specifically for this week is Mitsubishi. And just based purely on the fact that they have like the most god-awful commercial out there right now. It's like, I don't know if you've seen it, but most people probably that watch general TV that get commercials have probably seen it. It's the guy at the dealership. Oh, it's hidden camera. It's so cool, so clever. He's rapping to them, the people in the test drive. He's rapping the features of the car, and it's just, God, it's the worst. And the fact that they actually put that out there and approved it to go to market as an advertisement, well, yeah, they're out of the picture for sponsorship here.
I'm a cord cutter, so I haven't had cable in a while, but every time I watch it, I feel like I'm amazed at the low quality of shit that they put on, because you have to put so much content with like hundreds of channels all needing advertisements. It's just like crazy to me, the crap that they get. Even the TV shows are terrible. But anyways, my non-sponsor is products for left-handed people. I mean, the margins are just too low here. You're not making any money. We're wasting our time. Just fucking use your right hand, all right? Get over it.
Well, it's the hand of the devil. We don't want to be a part of that either. I mean, that's I don't want to be associated with the devil, the hand of the devil. So, and you know, like you said, profit margins. Why are you going to exclude the majority of the population with your product? Doesn't make any sense.
Would that mean that Jesus is a right-hand man?
Yeah, I don't think they explicitly state that in the Bible. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they explicitly state that the left hand is the hand of the devil. So I know that. So I think they let you assume. They didn't really have to write it out. They're like, oh, within the context, you can just assume Jesus was right-handed.
Why wouldn't he be, right? Yeah.
Being the son of God, you know, left hand being the hand of Satan, you know, figure it out.
Yeah. All right, to get into it today, as per the title, we wanted to talk about the plastic straw controversy. Nathan, you want to get us started on this?
Yeah, I kind of brought it to you because it, to me, I like plastic straw ban. Like, it's not really on my radar too much. Blip blip, it's not coming up. But then I saw like the insane
nice sound effects there, by the way.
Doppler radar. You can't. There's nothing there. When it comes to plastic straw ban, I mean, sure, you know, let's ban plastics in general for most things that we don't need it for. But the backlash, I should say, from social media, the conservatives, like, they just took it to the next level of like ridiculousness. Like, how can you be that against the plastic straw ban? Like, is it that big of an issue to you that you're so upset? Like, it's happening, and I don't understand why it's partisan anyways. Let's try to get rid of the plastic in general. Like, let's just not have it. So they just went to the extreme level with it and saying like, little liberals, if you have a plastic straw, they're gonna cry. Look at these little babies. I got an AR-15 and a straw. What you gonna do about it? Like, it's weird. It's weird.
I love that both sides of these like political arguments both call the other side crybabies and whiners. Like, I thought it was just one side. I'm like, no, they both think the other side's a bunch of complainers. But the other thing was like, wasn't there? I think it was like it was either like plastic coolers or like coffee makers. Like, there was some issue, and they were like the right wing people were all up in arms, like destroying all their coffee machines or something over some stupid controversy. It was probably with like all the NRA stuff, and they're like, oh, this company doesn't support gun rights, so we're gonna thrash all our coffee machines.
That's a good typical conservative move. They did that shit with we brought it up before, the W ketchup. Like, they take it to the level where they're like, well, I can't have no Heinz anymore. They're supporting the damn liberal agenda. They won't let me have my goddamn straws over here either. I'm gonna just put these fucking W ketchup on my freedom fries, and y'all just gonna have to deal with it. This is America. This is freedom, and y'all just don't understand. You environmentalists. I love that. That's an insult too. You goddamn environmentalists. Like, yeah. I want the Earth to exist. Like, is that a bad thing? I guess it is.
Well, even with the straw shit, it's like paper straws work just as well. The only downside is you can't like fucking chew on them on the tip like you like some kind of savage like you would normally with a plastic straw, and they will get soggy after, I don't know, like 30. Yeah. I haven't done any testing, but I imagine over 30 minutes to an hour, depending on if your drink's hot or cold and how quickly the wax deteriorates. But it's like, you shouldn't be drinking a fucking soda you shouldn't have a big enough soda that you can drink that shit for an hour.
Well, the other reason I saw people trying to justify it's like, oh, well, what if they're handicapped? I'm like, oh, I think we'll give them like a sticker on their license. They can have a plastic straw or something stupid like that. Like, we let people bring dogs on planes for no reason other than some asshole doctor signed off on it. But in your reality, we still wouldn't be able to let a handicapped person use a straw, but we'll let somebody take animals on flights. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, if we can just use common sense, most people don't need straws, and the ones that do, okay, maybe they can use a plastic straw. It's fine. Like, I don't get it.
I saw a product for a collapsible metal straw that you could like fold into like 3 pieces and put it into a little storage compartment. Wow. And I'm like, if I saw somebody in real life whip that out and use it for their drink, I'd probably think they were a fucking like psycho, some kind of like crazy survivalist. Like, they literally just like say it's like McDonald's in a wooded area, and they just come out of the fucking forest to go order their food from McDonald's, whip out their metal straw, put it in, and then just walk right back into the fucking bushes, never to be seen again.
They eat their McNuggets with their metal chopsticks that they pull out as well. You're like, what the fuck's up with this guy? It would be, I would agree that would be unsettling to have people pulling out like metal straw kits and stuff. For me, I just say drink it out of the goddamn cup. What's the big deal with the straw? Are you really that concerned about the hygiene of the cup? People could use to drink and deal with a few more germs and bacteria, build up some immunity a little bit more. Fuck it.
Why not do edible straws over
yeah.
I guess that's what fucking red vines and Twizzlers are, right?
Oh, I didn't even think of that. It's the perfect. We already have straws that work. We just red vines. Red vine stock is going to go skyrocket after this plastic straw ban is in place. Thinking of somebody that we do want to have as a sponsor, Red Vines. Why don't you come at us?
Yeah. We're a Red Vines family here. Twizzlers, you can go fuck off, all right?
Was that Parks and Rec?
You know what the best... Actually, you know it would be better... Yes, exactly, Parks and Rec. What is that? Ben's... is it Ben's parents? Or his dad and his, like, stepmom or something?
Yeah. Well, that's too into... But yes, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah. I was going to say that my favorite brand for candy straws, if you've ever been to 7-Eleven, it's always hit or miss whether they have these, but I think it's made by the company that makes the like sour punch straws, but it's like a jumbo one that you can put in your Slurpee. It's so good. I want one now.
See, we already have the alternatives, and they're better.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, you can also do... They've also been working on bacteria that will break down plastics. That, from what I know, they've been able to successfully like do this, but the fear that if you put this in a landfill, that it like gets out, and then all these plastic products that you designed to never deteriorate or take like, 20, 30 years to degrade to the point where they're not useful. If you got bacteria breaking it down after like, a couple of weeks, it's going to be, it'll be like Y2K, but for plastic, and nobody will understand and everyone will panic.
Well, whatever we can do to get rid of the giant mountain of plastic, and I understand that the argument that some conservatives bring, we're not the worst offender of it, and there's a couple Asian countries, I believe it is, are doing way more damage, but to me that's not an argument in terms of...
Those Asians one-upping us at every turn, even with trash. God.
Yeah, killing whales. They're way better at killing whales and polluting the ocean with plastic.
Did you see that South Park episode where the Japanese were going after all the dolphins and whales because they thought they bombed them because that's what we told them?
Yeah, that was a pretty good episode. Thanks for derailing me.
Sorry, I just thought it was funny because they went after the Miami Dolphins football team. Anyways, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, sir. Please continue.
You should be. And thank you for apologizing. Apology not accepted. But like the idea that just because another country is worse than us, that it's okay to do the same bad thing that they do is just a weird argument to me. I don't quite understand it. Like relating it to Nazi Germany as an extreme example would be like, oh, we should stop killing Jews and have them stop killing Jews. Yeah, well, but they're doing way more of it than we are. Like it's just kind of a very small, minuscule thing over here. So why worry about killing Jews? Okay. Okay. I understand. You're right. Let's just turn a blind eye to it and proceed forward. Yeah.
Well, you know what fictional animated cartoon had the recycling and trash problem figured out?
The one that we've brought up a few times, Captain Planet, or magically saving the world with superpowers?
Oh yeah, I wish that's what we need, Captain Planet. What would he do? You're gonna beat the shit out of all the guys that are polluting, but then the trash is still there. You don't have like powers. What, he just like uses laser fist and burns it, and then it's just all in the atmosphere.
It's a bunch of melted plastic, so it's just a layer of plastic on the bottom of the ocean instead of a mound of it.
He's like, hey, I'm Captain Planet, not Captain Atmosphere, all right? That's fucking somebody else's problem.
Yeah. I'm doing the best I can over here. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Kami, get some love up on this and let's see what happens. Come on.
Oh... But Futurama, their approach was just gather up all the trash into a giant ball and launch it into the sun.
Not a bad idea. It's not like we're going to drastically affect the lifespan of the sun.
Yeah. If anything, we're just helping it, giving it some more fuel. They're like, when this shit burns out in a billion years, this is adding about 10 seconds of light that we could use.
Yeah, I mean, that shit adds up. Shit adds up over time, Eventually, it'll be like a few minutes.
When they're doing that escape sequence like it's a movie, when the fucking sun burns out and they're trying to, like, fly to another solar system and they're trying to get as many people on board, that fucking 30 seconds is where it's going to pay off.
That would be a pretty dope sci-fi movie, actually. Like, the idea is you got to get out of the solar system before the sun dies. Why haven't we seen that yet? That's actually... Actually, let's stop talking about it. We'll discuss later after the show.
Somebody will probably put out a movie trailer for this in the future.
Yeah, Zuckerberg's already listening to everything anyway, so... He's like, been there. Already heard that combo from some other assholes on another podcast. Not original at all.
Hopefully in the future we'll have like we'll have robots to take care of everything that we worry about in the future.
Yeah, they'll turn into straws for us, and we don't even have to use plastic or anything. It'll just be a fucking robot, use his fingers, some crazy shit, And conservatives will still be fucking mad. Oh, you want me to have to get a straw from the robot over? I can't get my own goddamn plastic straw. I got to use a robot straw.
I just imagine it being like super awkward, like the robot sticks his finger in your mouth and that's where the straw is.
He's like sucks the liquid in through like the other end of the robot. You're like, are you sure that there's no like contaminants in this pathway? I am 99.8% sure. Okay. All right, it's pretty good. Never tell me the odds.
What if the intake spot for the drink, because he has to suck the fluid up out of a cup or whatever. What if that's what where his, like if it were a person, that's where his dick would be. So he's just dipping his dick into a drink cup and you got to suck it out of his finger. This would get so weird.
Yeah. Well, it's engineers like you that would make that kind of shit, isn't it? You'd be like designing it. You're like, where should we put the intake valve? You're like, well, we got a lot of unused space right here. You're like, that's traditionally where the penis would go. Yeah, let's put it there.
In order for me to get away with that, it would have to be like my one-man robotics company where I had complete oversight over everything. Everyone's like, no, I don't think we should do that. That's really creepy and gross, and I don't think people would really adopt that technology well. And I'm like, well, I'm the only one producing the robots, so they don't have a choice.
Yeah, like it'll be like, yeah, in Blade Runner, it's just the one Tyrell Corporation's the only one. You're like the head of it. I'm making the decisions here. Like, but like, there's like 5 other engineers that are like, sir, it would really be super simple to make it in a more pleasant location for the consumer. They won't be so worried about it. You're like, no, this is how it is. And it's going to be that way forever.
My only other option for them is like, well, do you want to suck it out of their dick and then do we put their finger in the cup? I don't think so, all right?
They'd probably give up pretty fast, that argument. Like, clearly he's not going to sway from this. And he is the only one in charge of robot production, so we're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of robots, I did want to just mention something about RoboCop, the one from the 80s, not the new one. I haven't seen that one, but it's kind of random. But I was rewatching it. It's a really good movie. It's one of the few ones I enjoyed as a kid and as an adult for entirely different reasons.
Do the special effects in there hold up? Like, does it look like shit and it's hard to watch, like Tron, or is it still? Can you look past it, like What was that movie with Stallone and Wesley Snipes?
Time Cop? Was it? It was Time Cop.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Like, that holds up.
Oh, no, wait. Is the one Stallone Demolition Man?
Yes, Demolition Man.
That's the
Demolition Man.
No, RoboCop holds up pretty well because most of it is practical effects, but the huge robot, whenever they have to have like people in the scene with the big robot, that's where it's a little harder to watch. But
yeah.
But regardless, everybody remembers the scene where, the cop that becomes RoboCop's getting the shit blasted out of him. They blow off his limbs and everything, and they're all laughing. That part's good. This is a good scene. But everybody, at least I didn't remember this other scene where he is RoboCop, and they're flipping the script on him. The guy doesn't like RoboCop programs, so they're turning the cops against him. You know, fill in the details yourself. That's not what this is about.
Yeah.
But basically, they're at the point where they're turned on RoboCop, the police force, and there's a scene where there's like no less than 50 cops, all fully decked out with assault weapons, just blasting him while he's crawling out of the parking garage for like a good minute and 30 seconds. I did time it, and it was about a minute 30, where they're just shooting the whole time, and he's slowly crawling away. And I thought that scene was way better than the one where they shoot the guy. I mean, it was hilarious. I don't know. I just want that out there.
There's two things about that. It's like, the first is like when they're shooting him for like a fucking minute 30. Like, you'd think the scientist that designed RoboCop would be like, hey, that's not gonna work. We made him. He's bulletproof.
Like, tell us how to kill him. They're like, well, definitely not what you're doing right now. It's like, it's not what works.
They're like, just shoot him in the mouth. His head's down. Oh, well, it's gonna be difficult, but you pretty much just shoot him in the mouth.
Yeah, you know that part where it's flesh? Shoot him there.
Yeah. Shoot the non-metal parts of RoboCop. But on the flip side of that, you see so many movies where, like, it'll be like the whole army against like Godzilla or some giant monster, and they'll start shooting at the thing for like 5 seconds, like it's not effective, and they just stop. It's like, well, you could have tried a little bit longer. So the fact that they kept up with it, they're like, no, eventually these bullets will kill RoboCop.
The director's there, and they're like, sir, I mean, don't you think the scene's excessively long? He's like, no. This is how it plays out. This is just how it goes. They eventually wear him down to where he slowly crawls and falls out of the parking garage. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So let's get to shooting. Like, okay, you didn't really answer my concern, but or address my concern. Yeah, it's a fun scene. I loved it. And yeah.
You know what would have made it even stupider? Is if the guy, what's RoboCop's real name?
Murphy.
Murphy.
I don't know the whole name, but it was Murph. The lady called him Murphy or something like that.
Yeah, his first name should have been Will, so they could make that pun way back in the 80s. A fire at will.
They're all fire at will, and the cop looks at the camera real quick and smiles, and then they all start shooting.
yeah. Little like smile, the fucking gleam off his teeth, and then just go.
It's funny because it would actually fit in RoboCop. When you rewatch it, it's like it is very self-aware about like how hyper violent and ridiculous it is, but it's also like, hey guys, this probably is going to be the future, you know. But wink, wink. It's funny.
Well, I feel like that line, the fire at will joke, probably came from like Police Academy, and that was in the same time frame. So,
yeah, they probably were trying to distance themselves a little bit from Police Academy with the RoboCop movie, just a little bit.
They should have had a crossover, RoboCop Academy.
Yeah, bring Bobcat in to the
Bobcat.
RoboCop's new partner is Bobcat.
That would have been good. All right, on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll see you soon. Yaboo. Hey yo, it's me, your boy, your man, Big Red Chad, aka Jimmy the Hat Rat, aka Suplex. And I'll be here to tell you about all these nasty rad rubbers. I got rubbers for well-hung brothers. I got rubbers for the handicap, the baby carrots, the double troubles, the triple dippers. You name it, Rad Chad got it. Whatever you need to pound that sniz into the next millennium. Believe it or not, Rad Chad himself used to have rubber problems. Busted loads so big it be ripping and impregnating all the honeys. That's why I came up with my Pro Patent Unrippables, extra dippable, super-sized jizz trap and jimmies. My fresh sleazy new patent, the Mega Rap Jizz Drop Trap. This fly new technology will help you pound the ladies, or whatever you feel like pounding, and catch each drop from the monstrous beast to the baby cashews. No more pulling out your Becca and flipping a switch because all that's left is the rubber ring. And once you're done, just clean it. Yes, my rubber's made with 100% cannabis seedlings, so do old Rat Chad a favor. Get out there and smash that ass in front of the whole class.
It's a solid. It's a liquid. No, it's a cat. The It's a Cat can fit in anything and bother you anywhere. Busy with your homework? Not anymore. Typing out that business plan? Not anymore. The best thing about It's a Cat is that it's practically free. They pay for themselves through rigorous selective breeding. Just simply let them outside. Need to find an It's a Cat? All you have to do is ask someone for It's a Cat, and within minutes you'll have so many offers you won't believe it. My cousin has a whole litter of It's a Cat that you can have for free. Try out It's a Cat accessories as well. Nice smelling house? Not anymore. With It's a Cat's Shit Catcher Box 9000, litter splashes out of the box for you so the It's a Cat won't have to. It uses the most advanced electric engine design to allow for the most violent shakes to splash the most litter out. Guaranteed. Batteries not included.
Yaboo. And we're back from that exciting commercial break. Nathan, how was your break?
It was actually really good. I'm kind of really excited about the second half.
Yeah, well, let's just jump into it. Our next segment is titled Four-Wheel Frustrations.
Hey, fuck you, buddy. Yeah, man, fuck you.
Four-wheel frustrations.
In this segment, we're going to talk about, exactly what it sounds like. Frustrations with riding in a car.
Yep. Yeah. You can literally take it at face value.
Yeah. We're going to start this one off with everyone's favorite place, the DMV. If you forgot what it's like because you haven't been in a while, it is fucking terrible. Most of you will probably have to be back there within the next year or two because if you're in California, we've set up this new Real ID system where you have to give fucking 20 forms of ID, cavity search, blood test, fingerprints, a retina scan, and then they give you your new California ID.
What about stool sample?
Yeah, that's part of it too. They got cameras in the bathrooms, and they're watching you the whole time. They're like, you're not getting anybody else's poop in this cup.
Yeah, they have the guy that escorts you to the bathroom and watches you pee and poo. Like, you're getting my pee sample. Do you have to get the stool sample too? No, yes.
He hovers under your butt with the cup.
He's actually catching it.
Yeah, it's not actually a working toilet. It's like a children's toilet that you have to sit on with a hole cut in the back where he just jams his hand in there and he's like, let me remind you, do not pee. We only want stool samples.
Yeah, well, it's hard. Whenever I poo, I pee, man. I can't not do the other one.
But yeah, the DMV is the worst place ever. Like the people... I mean, this is, everybody already knows.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, in case you forgot how awful it is, like, here's a nice, friendly reminder. It's still awful.
Yeah. It's like I go in there and I'm like, I want to take, I was there because I had to get the Real ID, but I bought myself the dorkiest scooter like a year back and I never got the motorcycle license. So I'm like, I want to get my Real ID, but I also want to take the motorcycle permit test at the same time. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be confusing. And every step of the way, I'm like trying to ask somebody. I'm like, hey, can I do? And they're like, next line, just go over there. I'm like, go.
But I'm trying to.
Oh
no. Did you not hear me, sir? Get over. Next line. Do I have to call security? You're like, but I just have a simple question. No.
I don't want to be waiting in the wrong line for like an hour. And then I'm in like the test line. They're like, does anybody have their test? And I give her I'm in my head, I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be taking a test. So I walk up to her. She looks at my slip. No, you're not taking a test, sir. Get back to the back of the line. Just like, and it's just still every time. Like, no. Go back. And I'm just like, God damn. And the other people in line are just looking at me like they fucking feel my pain. I'm like, what are we doing here?
They've all been sent to the back of the line already the first time. They're like, oh yeah, there's another one.
I'm trying to have sympathy for them the whole time, because like, as pissed as I am, there's also like 4 homeless people wandering around in the DMV that they also have to yell at, and I'm like, well, they got to deal with that guy every day for some reason. So I'm only here one day. I can maintain my composure. It won't be that bad.
What is the real idea? Because I'm gonna have to renew my license next year, and I'm kind of concerned because you're mentioning all this stuff. In all seriousness, what is it? What is the thing?
So the real ID is basically a a stronger, more secure form of identification. So it's like, instead of you having to use, they're saying like with you using it in place of your passport in some situations. So I don't understand completely why you need this one over the other, but basically I think what it was is that like California's ID system was like pretty lax, so it was easily susceptible to counterfeiting IDs. So it was gonna be, if you don't have a real ID as of like, I think like beginning of next year, you're gonna need like your passport or like more forms of identification just to travel between states. But I could be wrong.
Between states? Oh my god.
Seems crazy.
Yeah, the fucking leave it to California to ruin the regular fucking ID that's supposed to be the real ID. You're like, we have an ID already. You're like, well, that's not a real ID. You're like, it's fucking government issued. Yeah, but that's not a real ID. Okay, thanks.
They also have a non-real ID that you can also apply for that requires less forms of identification.
This one's ID, but it's not real. It works in like, Mickey Mouse stores and, any kind of fantasy type endeavor that you're going on that doesn't require reality-based IDs. Anything that, requires make-believe or fantasy in some sort.
Yeah, it's what you have to show when you play Monopoly and you have to ask for money. You have to show your non-real ID.
When you're trying to cash out, when you're cashing out a property in Monopoly, you can show them this non-real ID, that we charge you for still. We still charge you for it.
You know what it probably is they probably realize there's some glaring like loophole that they don't want to outright say because of the because we issue I'd issue ID cards to non-citizens, I guess is the nicest way to put it. Yeah, so I'm assuming there's like some glaring loophole there where it's like, oh fuck, people could be doing something with using one of these IDs that they shouldn't be able to do, and so they're trying to avoid putting that information out there for everyone to be aware of. And they're just trying to like fix it before it gets worse. It would be my guess.
Kind of reminds me of a all right, bear with me on this comparison. There's a Hearthstone streamer that got banned for exposing an exploit that people could use to like break the game. It's like, oh, he's letting him know it's a problem. He's putting it out there, but he got banned for doing it. It's like, well, it wouldn't have fixed it or known about it hadn't he exposed it, but they still punished him for it. So it's like, even if if we somebody exposed whatever it was with this license, but then everybody's just getting punished for it being exposed. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like, instead of just fixing the system, let's just make it increasingly difficult and a bigger mess than it was before, instead of just fixing the original problem.
I did, we'll touch on this more in another episode, but I I have read up actually. I read an article I think a couple months ago about those gamers finding exploits in games, and a lot of them don't. What's the word? They don't expose the exploits specifically for games where you can like sell the currency or items or whatever, because they can. There's people that will make a living off of finding these exploits and being one of like 10 people that know about it, so they can feed off of the in-game economies to like pay their rent or whatever. Like for example, a guy basically figured out how to hack. I think it was, I don't remember what the game was, but there was a market for trading the currency, and he'd basically hacked himself the equivalent of like 300 trillion US dollars worth of in-game currency, but he knew that he couldn't sell it because it would crash the game market and it would all disappear. So he just funneled off like $1,000 or $2,000 worth of this currency a month to sell online to pay his rent every month. But there's a whole huge thing on this that we can touch on later.
We'll have to. That's fascinating, and the fact that he got caught sucks. Like you can't fuck it up.
Well, I don't even think.
Damn.
I think a lot of it was they didn't get caught. They just talked about it after the games shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but to close out on the DMV stuff, the last thing I noticed was like the further you get into the systems for the DMV, like the nicer the people are. So it's like the further removed you are from the first interactions with people. Because if like you're the last guy on the chain, like, okay, I know this person has all the right documentation because we would have weeded him out earlier, and he has a legitimate reason for being here.
Right. There's no way you would have gotten to that point without all this.
Yeah, and those people are like the nicest people on earth. Like the last guy I dealt with, he's like, oh no, okay, yeah, you can do both. You can take both tests at the same time. He's like, but it'll get kind of weird because your licenses expire in a couple days, so I'll issue you a 2-month temporary paper ID so you have that time span to pass your motorcycle skills test, and then you can get your physical ID issued to you with the motorcycle license. And if you feel like you can't do it, then you can just come back to us, and then we'll just cancel the motorcycle stuff and then just send out your real one. And I'm like, this is what I wanted to know when I got in here, and it took me the last stage, and you were super nice about it. But I wonder how that works, like how you get stuck being like, because there's one guy at the door that like before you even go in, you're like, what are you doing here? I need to do this. Okay, fill out this form, stand in that line. Like that person has to be like the newest DMV employee.
Right. It's got to be seniority.
Yeah, you just get moved further back and back into the office the longer you've been there, to like the most senior person, like, because most of the cubicles are like open on the open floor where everybody can see. So it's like the guy running the operation's probably like one of two people that has like a closed office where people can't even see who they are.
So I had to kill so many people to get to this point.
Yeah. Nobody quits.
Yeah.
Well, they just they probably just kill themselves after working at the DMV long enough.
I couldn't handle being the line guy. Couldn't handle being the front of the line guy. He killed himself. You're like, well, good for me. Now I'm at the DMV. I'm gonna start working up that ladder, just praying for the next guy up to kill himself. You're like, as long as you have the mental fortitude to not kill yourself, you'll do well at the DMV.
Oh God! All right. So let's jump into our next segment. This is one that we've been thinking about for a while, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. It's called We should make that intro longer. I don't think people will really enjoy it, and it's just too short. They're like sad that it's over.
Yeah, it's pretty extra. Is that what the kids say? It's extra.
I love it. I'm not being sarcastic at all.
Yeah.
I love it.
We could just put the rest of that MIDI classical music song clip on for the rest of the episode.
How long was the whole thing?
Oh, it's like 20 minutes or something.
For you people, we sifted through 20 minutes of MIDI file just to find the perfect section to make that stinger.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Clearly. So the idea behind this segment is we just talk about the finer things in life, whether it be for good or bad. Based on how this show goes, most of it will just be us crapping on stupid rich products. But every once in a while, there's some merits to these things, and we can see why. So the first topic we wanted to discuss was ice cream or any foods, really, with fucking gold flake on them. Just like using precious metals in unnecessary situations is, I guess, a broader topic for it. But I don't understand why would you spend $200 to $1,000 on a cup of ice cream with fucking gold in your ice cream? Like, it has no taste, and I looked it up. There's no nutritional value in gold.
Yeah, I did my fucking research. I know that it didn't provide any nutritional value to you.
Yeah.
To me, I think it's a total cop out. Like, it's a shitty, lazy way of making a fucking dish expensive. Like, it should be expensive because you got like the most exotic ingredients and like fucking shipped in like the most rare stuff and made this super insane dish. Not just because you fucking threw some gold in it. You're like, yeah, this thing's $1,000 because there's $900 worth of gold in it.
Yeah, you like dump some Russian caviar on there, and it's like, okay, it's expensive, it's overpriced, but it has some, like, there's some reason for it. It's like actual food, not just bullshit.
Yeah, I appreciate expensive foods that are a product of their ingredients. Not so much the extra decorative foods that, like you alluded to. It's just totally pointless. It's just completely like for the sake of making it more expensive. Come on.
I saw it with like donut too, where they had like gold leaf on a fucking donut, and I'm just like, well, this is equally stupid.
That's got to be the laziest way. Like, they're not even like masking it with a cool dessert. There's like, so we went down to Ralph's and got a fucking baker's dozen of donuts, and then just wrap some gold around it, and now you got a fucking $400 donut.
It was $100 a donut with this gold leaf on it, and then it was $1,000 for a dozen. So you get a discount there if you get enough of them.
Yeah, so you buy enough and go out on the street and start peddling the fucking gold leaf donuts to people. Hey, I got your gold leaf donuts over here, $100 a pop, $100 a pop. Come get your gold leaf donuts. Like, how what's the profit model on that? You know, how are you reselling that? So ridiculous.
I always wonder, like, too, like, where, like, in these restaurants, so what, you just got a stack of, like, $1,000 worth of gold leaf just, like, in the back for this purpose? You got some fucking minimum wage employee that's like, oh, I hope I don't mess this up because it's going to be my salary for the day.
There's one dude that, you got the minimum wage guy handling it. You got the guy that's in charge of like finding the distribution. He's like, well, I got this gold guy over here. He's pretty good. I can't guarantee that they're not, from conflict areas. You know, there's definitely blood on this gold that we're taking in. But you want a good deal or don't you? Like, we're still making like 90% profit margin on this shit. Like, regardless of how much we're paying for it, the markup has got to be insane.
I'm just waiting for, like, them to do, like, fucking ice cream with, like, diamonds just sprinkled all over the top. And then they make you sign some fucking terms of service agreement, like Apple, for eating the ice cream. So you fucking eat the whole cup of ice cream, diamonds at all. And they're like, you weren't supposed to eat the diamonds. Those were just for decoration.
So, yeah, basically, we had you sign a waiver of liability here, and, I hope you have good insurance is all I gotta say.
You're like, but you made me pay $1,000 to eat this cup of ice cream. You're like, yeah, the diamonds are worth $100,000 in here. no, you have to stay here until you shit those out. Those are ours.
Yeah, those are still our diamonds, and we will be retrieving them.
Yeah. Then it gets into like, how do you sell those? Like, instead of blood diamonds, you've got poop diamonds. Like, you got to discount them.
There's got to be a good spin on that. It'd be like carbon filtered diamonds or something. I don't know. We're carbon based organisms, and they went through our digestive filter. You can spin it, right? I don't know. So does that sound like? Would you pay more for carbon filtered diamond?
Organic diamonds.
You'd be like, what does that mean exactly? They're like, well, in this instance, somebody ate it and then shit it out.
This reminds me of something somebody said to me in high school that I found really odd, and it will work in this context, where we all remember when Paris Hilton was a thing of relevance, right?
Oh yeah,
way back in the day. And we're like driving along the car, and he poses the weirdest question. Like, I'll say weird shit all the time, so I'm not trying to judge him for it. But he's like, "Would you eat a nugget of Paris Hilton's shit for $1 million?" And my immediate thought is like, why does it matter? Why does it matter that it's her poop? Like, why do you care that it's a celebrity?
Yeah, it's poop.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care whose butt it comes out of. It's still poop. That's gross. But it's like, makes you think, like, if you gotta buy poop diamonds, if they're fucking Kim Kardashian poop diamonds, are they at a higher value, less as opposed to a lower value than, say, Nathan poop diamonds?
Well, I gotta tell you right now, I mean, market dictates the price, and I would pay more for Kim Kardashian shit diamonds than my own. So there, proof's in the pudding. I think, I think we got. Let's talk about this more off the podcast as well. I think we have something going here. We could make a lot of money. So let's not put out too much more of that. So we'll talk about that in private.
Yeah. We got some.
Yeah, we got to do a few. We got a few things to call a few people about on this podcast episode.
Yeah, there's gonna be a delay on us releasing this because we're gonna have all our ducks in a row, so nobody can copy all these ideas.
That's why it's been so long since the last podcast, is we've been sorting out, a few legal things, a few logistical things with some of the ideas presented in this episode here.
All right, before we divulge any more money-making ideas to our audience, we wanted to get into our conspiracy theory for the day, and this is arguable whether or not it is a conspiracy theory, but the idea that aliens exist, because it sounds crazy, but then if you look at like the vastness of space, the universe, existence, etc., it seems pretty unreasonable to me that there's not aliens. I guess the real question would be whether or not, like, I don't think we've encountered them, but I definitely think they're out there.
Yeah, I think, what you alluded to is really the conspiracy, is whether or not they've actually made contact. Like you said, it seems inevitable. Anybody that denies that there's a high chance of aliens existing is just like very close-minded. But in terms of this, yeah, I'm so back and forth on whether they've actually been here or not, though, because if they have and they were unimpressed and they just left, we wouldn't know, right? Like, there's a very high chance that they could have came and weren't impressed and were like, let's come back in like 1 million years or some shit. This is pretty low level evolution that we're dealing with here, so we'll come back later. That's very possible.
Yeah, they just see like fish in the sea and like some plants on the ground. They're like, well, this sucks. This is really boring.
Well, even people, like, they see us, they're just like, look at these assholes. They're talking to each other on some recording it with electrical impulses, and they're gonna put it on some sort of electrical info highway. Like, this is just, they're not even working toward any goal. Yeah. So.
Well, I feel like this would be the most entertaining time to watch us, because we're in like our like terrible reality TV phase where it's like we're all really stupid in the larger scheme of things and do dumb shit like fighting with each other and like killing everyone, blowing things up, like arguments. It's like a episode of fucking VH1 reality TV shows where you're just watching the stupidest people imaginable get on TV. It's like this would be the most entertaining thing to watch it from an outside perspective. I mean, a lot of it's cruel and horrible, but like they're not to us. Yeah, yeah. Like they don't care. Like we don't. Like you look at the horrible things that happen in wild animals, nature documentaries, and it doesn't affect you nearly as much as like seeing those same tragic events happen with people. Unless you're like hardcore, like PETA, like kill all the humans so that the animals have a better planet.
Well, I would like to think that they'd appreciate the intricacies of our relationships as opposed to animals, but think about it made me think when you were talking about that how much more exciting it would be to watch people than it would be like insects. Like imagine them, they're like, oh, check out these insects, they all do the same exact thing and they just serve one purpose. Like, oh, okay. I mean, like, we appreciate their efficiency, but these humans right here, they're total chaos. I like what they're doing here. None of it makes sense. It's all entertaining. It's all gravy. And the best part is that they're constantly at conflict with each other. Like, to no end. There's no force toward any common goal at all. It's great.
One of the things that will trip me out, too, is, like, you see in like video games like Halo and like sci-fi movies and stuff, there's always this like ancient alien race that place the seeds of life like on different planets, or I have these old structures, and it's like if we end up being the first like sentient life that like forms in the universe, like if by some odd chance there had to be the first alien life that traveled space, it could be us. There's no reason that it couldn't be. But it's like that's what would be weird if like we're the most advanced creatures in existence.
That is true. Like, yeah.
So like we end up being the ones like traveling space, populating the universe, blah, blah, blah,
true.
blah.
Who's to say it isn't? Like, I mean, the inevitable heat death of the universe is still pretty far a ways. To my knowledge, from the latest reports, that the inevitable heat death of the universe is still pretty far off, and you could argue that there is a multiverse, but I wonder what the odds does anybody even have the odds of whether we're more likely to be the most advanced race, or whether it's likely that there are other organisms in the world like that would be more advanced? There's no way to put that into a metric form, I think, but I never really thought of it that way. It's an interesting idea.
I always drive people that are into math crazy when like statistics get to some crazy level. I just throw it all out the window, and I'm like, yeah, your odds might be 1 in 3 million, but when you boil it down, it's always 50-50 because it's gonna happen or it's not gonna happen. So
it's a real gunslinger type of way to fucking destroy all like relevance of facts and data. Well, listen there, boy. It's either going to happen or it ain't. Now let's flip a coin and find out, boy.
Yeah, I've gotten some people really irritated and argue with me over it. Where
dude,
it's like,
you're pretty much the dude from No Country for Old Men. You're like the guy. Call it. They're like, wait, no, but Andrew, we were just having a very complex discussion about the stats and like the odd. Call it.
Well, it's like you can flip a coin and it's like, oh yeah, 50-50, it's gonna land heads or tails. But it's like, yeah, it could also just land heads like 100 times in a row, and then your odds that it's gonna every other time, it's like, yeah, then your argument becomes, well, if you flip it 100 more times, then those next 100 times it'll all come out tails. It's like, yeah, now you're fucking making the grasping argument of like, rock, paper, scissors games with somebody where you keep losing and you just increasing the number of times you play in the hopes that you'll win every one moving forward.
Well, it's equally as unlikely that would be the case. Like if you're gonna say that it's like the chance of it happening 100 times in a row that way is unlikely, then it's equally as unlikely for it to happen 100 times the other way to balance it out. So it's an interesting kind of thought, right?
Yeah, I mean, just because the odds are 99, I guess what it boils down to is just because the odds are 99% in your favor, it could still fucking fail on you. And just keep that in mind.
So what you're saying is that even though there might be a 99% chance that aliens exist, they either do exist or they don't. It's a 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Thank you for wrapping that up into a concise... We really took that out into a weird place, but you brought it back and wrapped it up. Thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense still, but let's pretend it does.
No. I feel like we're going to be able to touch on aliens a lot because there's just a lot of different avenues.
It's going to come up again. Yeah. I mean, aliens are, the idea of them is cool. Like anybody that doesn't think aliens are cool is not a friend of mine.
Yeah. This is Alien Conspiracy Theories Part 1. We're going to have the recently deplatformed Alex Jones on here and David Duchovny to talk about these eventually. Those are some good personal goals.
Both on one episode? Bro, you didn't...
Maybe. Probably not.
You got to tell me this stuff before we record. That's some breaking news. We're going to get Alex Jones and David Duchovny on here? I've been trying to get my buddy Sean. I can't even get my buddy Sean on here. We got David Duchovny.
Well, Alex Jones is looking for a voice, and we're not banned from any platforms yet, so this could be an opportunity.
Although, just to allude to that, we did get some feedback that we asked for, and moving forward, no thanks. Please don't give me any feedback. I had more than my fill with just a few things I heard, and that's enough. I don't care. Fuck you. What we're doing is right. What you're saying is wrong. So that's my stance.
On the note of the things we're doing are right, you want to give us that ever so coveted Faberge egg update?
Well, it's another Faberge egg update, and I just gotta be totally honest. I didn't double check this morning that there were any eggs found, but to my knowledge, as of yet,
you're gonna feel like a real ass if today was the day. You're gonna feel like a real ass.
As of today, we're recording. I don't know when I'll get this up soon, but as of Saturday, August 18th, the last time I did check, there were no new Faberge eggs found. And I believe that there will be one found though. So keep listening. In more episodes when I do let you know whether one has been found. I don't really have a lot to say. We've kind of went through a few of these things. There hasn't been one found. I mean, I like Vicky V. Victor Vexelberg is a good...
Oh, I'm glad you got a new nickname for him. That's a good one. Vicky V and V-dubs now.
We are... I mean, I don't know. Maybe you are. I haven't done it yet, but we are still planning on establishing a way for you to contribute to my Faberge Egg Expedition Fund. And I'm still thinking about where exactly it might be, and it's still. I did add another option. It might be in the Hawaiian Islands, but it's still probably in the Caribbean. So we're gonna fund a trip for me to go to either the Caribbean or the Hawaiian Islands to go try to look for it. Any of the missing Faberge eggs. Nice. I mean, if there was one at a flea market here, who's to say there isn't one in a tropical paradise? And I should get to go there for free and find out.
Are all the known ones in one location, or are they in different locations?
Victor Veckelsberg owns most of them that are currently in existence, but he doesn't own all of them. So they're sporadic. They're around. There's a few different locations.
Is the Faberge company gone?
No, they still exist. You can literally go to the Faberge.com. We got a little website about the imperial eggs.
We should start pushing them to create more to lower the value of the older ones.
Well, but the thing is, Andrew, is that the imperial eggs are the ones that I'm specifically referring to. You know,
They can't make imperial eggs anymore because they were for the Russian imperial family. Family.
Well, I guess I didn't give just in case anybody's first time listening to this, of the possible 50 jeweled imperial eggs, only 43 are still known to exist. The last one being found in 2014 was the third imperial Easter egg ever made. So just to make sure anybody that wasn't clear does know that I'm specifically talking about the imperial jeweled eggs, and as Andrew was alluding to, were made for the imperial family before the Russian government got overthrown. So if they were making more, it wouldn't have any impact to the value of the imperial eggs, in my opinion. I mean, the market dictates price. I'm not going to say that I know what the market will pay based off of new Faberge eggs, but my speculation is that it wouldn't affect the price of the imperial Faberge eggs.
Fascinating.
It always is.
Yeah, I mean, from the feedback I've gotten, people love these Faberge egg updates, so we got to keep them going.
And we'll have more info later about how you can give me money to go explore a tropical paradise to find one. So, stay tuned.
Yeah, once we get this funded, this segment will be most of the show. We'll just talk about our expeditions.
And just to be clear, it's me going.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't get to go. Any extra money goes towards putting you into business class flights instead of economy.
Listen, somebody's got to be here to run the show. I'll be the man out in the field. I'll report back. I'm not saying I'm not going to be a part of the show. And I'm not going to do my due diligence, but
you're the field correspondent.
Yeah, you're not really that into Faberge eggs, I take it. From the past 7 episodes, your reaction to the update is...
That's true, but it's growing on me.
Well, it's too... I've made the decision that I'm going alone, so...
This is my thing, goddammit. You stay out of it.
Yeah, stop trying to co-opt my thing with the Faberge eggs.
All right, fair enough. You want to roll us out?
Yeah, not much to say. We... You probably know where to find us if you're listening to this, but SoundCloud / It's Hella Rad is where we upload. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You look up Hella Rad. On YouTube, should be able to just look up Hella Rad and find it pretty easily, but we don't have the unique URL quite yet. Yeah, you can find us on YouTube as well. We're going to try to post a few more other commercials as well. Our advertisers were asking us to, so we're gonna try to get that going. But yeah, feel free. We're also on Twitter at It's Hella Red. You can reach out to us again, preferably without feedback. I'm kind of done with that, so just say hi, or is positive feedback still okay? I just don't want to hear anything else. So. Thank you.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Yaboo. Go 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 go